How's it going, guys? Nathan from Nathan's DIY Garage, and today I'm going to show you some cold weather tips for your BMW. So we see a lot of BMWs come in, have broken outer door handles, just all kinds of crazy stuff. Door seals are ripped in half. I'm going to show you how to pretty much prevent all that with a little bit of care and a little bit of carefulness on your part as a BMW owner. So we're going to use this E53X5, easiest one to access here. All the ice is actually melted off of it. Had a little bit of warmer day today. A little bit of stuff melted off, and you can see the trees are starting to melt off pretty good. They're not too bad. You can hear it dripping in the background. We just had a pretty good sized ice storm yesterday. Right now it's only about 29, 30 degrees, so it's actually pretty warm. These tips are going to show you how to not wreck your BMW in sub-zero temperatures. Okay, so we're going to start off with this. Most BMWs have this type of outer door handle or some variation of it. A lot of the real common problems, people will grab this when it's froze, they'll pull up on it, and it'll just shear it off. It'll bust the plastic handle off or break the aluminum frame on the inside. That's common pretty much in any BMW. So what we're going to do here, see all the stuff, our airbox and stuff, because this car's still apart, and our stereo and our box of bolts. So we're going to go ahead and clean the door seals. I'm going to show you how to do that. The biggest problem with the stuck door usually is you drive the car in some water or it sits around and gets condensation on the seals, and then you have the problem where you cannot open the door. Okay, so there's two stages to cleaning your door seals. The first stage is going to be to actually clean it with a cleaner. And for this, we're going to use a little bit of Windex, and you can see this one has a spider web in here. We'll rip that out, and we're going to go ahead and spray the Windex on the rag. We're going to wipe any dirt out of the way. Now, you don't have to use Windex. You can use any kind of cleaner, anything at all to clean that seal. And once the seal is clean, we're going to come back. In this case, we're going to use this Mcguire's Natural Shine Protectant. This is for interior, for plastics, your engine plastic, your tires, whatever. We're going to spray some on the rag, and we're going to go through and wipe it down. Now, you want to make sure that that somewhat dries. You're going to do the whole entire door seal like that. That is going to clean everything, and you let the door open for a little bit, make sure it dries. You don't want it just sopping wet, or it could possibly freeze. Okay, so you can see it has a nice shine to it. It's pretty much dry, tiny bit greasy. That's going to keep that seal from actually freezing to the door right here. It's going to let you get it open a hell of a lot easier. So the next thing is pretty much, like I just said, when you open the door, if you can't get it open easily the first try, don't just rip up on it real hard. You know, do it real gently. If that doesn't work, you can use a de-icer, even though I don't recommend doing that. What you're going to want to do is, if you get on one side and not the other, you're going to want to get in the car. You might have to jump across the console. Don't kneel in the seat, it'll rip the seat. And use your shoulder and hold the handle open. With the shoulder, push it open. Don't get crazy, you'll break the door panel. You know, that's pretty much how not to break the door handle, the outer door handle at least. So the next thing to remember is to check the air in the tires. This tire is low, these tires are junk. There's new ones on the way. Always in colder weather, your tires lose air. That's real common, especially if it's the first cold spell of the year. That will definitely be low. Always check that. You know, for normal tires, anywhere from 35 to 44, depends on what your tire calls for, depends on what you're using the car for. If you're doing a lot of cornering, a lot of highway driving, a little more air pressure is probably a little bit better. So another thing, if you're new to BMW, you need to watch the weight of your oil. So if you have real thick oil in it, and different people run different stuff, that's cool. BMW recommends, you know, 5W30 or sometimes even 5W20, depends on what kind of car you have. That oil, in my opinion, is pretty thin. For wintertime, that's fine. Most of these cars here in the summertime, you're on 10W30. 10W30 is okay year-round also. 10W40 in the summertime is also good, especially with these older engines. The plastic valve cover M52 TU M52, M54, and all that stuff. A little thicker oil is a little bit handier. They tend to leak and drip and seep, and 10W30 or even 10W40 will stop a lot of that from happening. And the biggest thing really is your coolant. You know, you gotta make sure you have the right kind of coolant. They actually make a tester for this. And how these work is, this is just one type. There's many different types of the testers here. This has a little knob in it, and as you fill it full of coolant, well, here, let's just show you. How about that? So you just take the lid off your overflow, you stick it in there, you squeeze the bulb, and it sucks coolant up in there, and then you can see, I'll show you on the little red needle. This one is good for, go to Fahrenheit, minus 10-ish. I'll do another test run. I don't know if this thing works right or not. There we go. So this one's good about minus 15. Hold it level. A lot of these have little balls, and you can tell by how many balls are floating. It'll tell you on the side of the tester. These testers are cheap. They're under $5. That's really good to have one of those. By not having the right amount of coolant in your car, BMW or not BMW, that is the quickest way to run an engine. That is the most common way, because what happens is you not only run your expansion tank, your engine, you also run your heater valve, you also run the heater core, so you got to take the dash out to do all that. You just don't want to go on that road. It's easier, you know, you could buy concentrate, antifreeze. If you find a deal at Walmart, you could buy it for, what, $10 for a gallon of it. $10 is a hell of insurance to make sure you don't have an issue. And especially if you're buying a car that's broken down. A lot of you guys buy these cars with a head gasket problem. You really got to watch. The car broke down over the summertime and somebody just put straight water in it. You go to buy it, think you're just going to do the head gasket on it, and figure it out it had straight water, and it froze and busted the block, busted the head, and wrecked everything. That's another thing. So the final thing we're talking about today is transmission. The transmission on these is a ZF box or a GM box, depends on which model X5 you have. The transmission warm up and fluid is very critical. The warm up, when it gets below freezing outside, you pretty much need to let the car warm up till the needle's somewhat close to the middle or operating temperature, you might say. If you don't do that, what's going to happen, guys? You're going to take off, especially if you take off and pretty heavy on the gas. You're going to snap that D-drum. You're going to snap the main shaft in half, or you're going to strip a clutch pack. You don't want to have to do any of that. BMW transmissions are expensive. Not many people are fixing BMW transmissions. Really nobody is anymore. Everybody just wants to sell you a whole new unit or a used unit for $4,000 to $7,000. So as far as transmissions go, everybody knows I use a Castle Transmax. Walmart has good sales on Valvoline synthetic import. That stuff's good. Transmax is like $5.50 a quart. Right now Walmart runs the deal on the Castrol, I think it's Castrol Long Life. It's in a red container, and you get 5 quarts for $17. If you have any question about your transmission fluid, if you have not ever changed it, if you think it has more than 40 or 50,000 miles on it without being changed, you need to change it. A broken down transmission fluid could also cause your transmission to go out. Well, it will cause your transmission to go out. These will not run to 100,000 miles. If they do, they'll scrap after that. You got to change the transmission fluid in the BMW every 40 to 50,000 miles. At the end of this video, there'll be a little thing pop up. I'll put a link to my transmission fluid change video in there and fluid check. Also, low fluid will also wreck it just as quick. So other than that, just keep in mind when it gets cold outside, anything plastic breaks very easily. So any kind of handle, any kind of knob, if you're working on your BMW when it's really cold outside, be very careful. I don't recommend that. If you're taking off a door panel, taking off anything like that, and tree limbs falling out of the tree, be super careful with that. If you follow these steps, you're not going to have much of a problem in cold weather. Caution is the #1 thing, and Just be very careful, pay attention to what you're doing, and you'll be fine. So that's it, guys. That's all for the cold weather BMW video. Thanks for watching.